Hello friends, welcome to Calm Down 2023. Thank you so much for your overwhelming responses for my first video. The people who are seeing me today in this video, let me share it with you that I have started this 2023 countdown series yesterday, and where I talked about how did I reform myself in 2022 by putting my old self in tomb and reforming a new self of my own. So you can go through my post and look at that video as well. Now today we are going to talk about how is that possible in day-to-day life to reform ourselves. All right, so the formula which I implemented in my life is 90-10 principle, which means 10% of your efforts actually is responsible for 90% of your results. And the same thing applies with time also. If you look at our day-to-day time, we are almost awake for 1000 minutes a day, and if you noticed, it's very rare that we are spending any specific time slot on each of our individual inner self growth. So what I did in 2022 is I implemented an ideology which is 420 ideology. It's not that 420 in Hindi we'll talk na chalo kuch 420 hi karte. It's not like that. It's very practical approach towards the time management. So I divided that 100 minutes of my day into 20 minutes of slot, and first 4 slots I allocated to the activity which I liked most. Similarly, you can do whatever you like. You just pick any 4 activities from your day-to-day life, allocate 20 minutes to each of that activity, and see that how life transforms. So what I did is, as I shared yesterday, the first 20 minutes in the morning I allocated for meditation. The second 20 minutes I put for the book reading instead of newspaper. It was stretching, of course, gradually with the period of time from 20 minutes to 2 hours. Then, of course, I got engaged in my day-to-day activity, traveling, trainings and all that. And then evening coming back, I started investing 20 minutes to the fitness, the cycling, the strengthening body part. And then another 20 minutes I kept it for my, hobby. So I really like music, okay? So that 20 minutes I invested in learning one new instrument, and which is very basic, but yeah, I felt it very, very light, very joyful when I started doing it. It's a keyboard, and now almost I know some good song. It's a very lengthy learning, so I started with learning small, rhythms, poems and all, and then now I know almost to play some 20-30 songs. Not that great, but yeah, I'm happy for that. So that 20 minutes I spent in my hobby. So this is how I invested 20 minutes of each slot into 4 of my key activities, where I was very much encouraged and entrusted to do those activities. So there was no burden, there was no force to implement it. It was rather interest from within to go and do that activity. The last 20 minutes out of that 100, the 80 spent in this 4 activity, the remaining 20% I did nothing. Right? It's not nothing. It's actually I just kept it blank to think of self-realization, where I am today, what I want to do, how the life is gonna be tomorrow. So that kind of thoughts, and not pressurizing myself. It was just thinking around what else is possible, because life is not a set program. We are human being. Whatever we visualize, we can. So that's how I thought of a lot of things doing in 2022, and of course I did, which you will see through in this journey which I am sharing on day-to-day basis. So that 20 minutes was really giving some time for inner self, that what all is there in me which can be nourished, which can be further grown up to bring up some shape to the life. So this is how I manage my task, my activity, my day-to-day self inner growth in that 100-minute slot. So the simple idea is in today's this sharing is 90-10 principle. You can also think of taking out this 100 minute out of your busy schedule and invest on yourself. Let's see how the life will transform. So thank you so much for watching. Keep sharing all these small insights with all of your friends, family members, because I feel that on day-to-day basis, even improving on 1% will change our life certainly. Thank you. All the best.